Hello, hello. Claire Ackers here, coming to you live from Sunnybank Mills in Farsley. It feels like it has been a little while. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous Thursday, coming up to lunchtime. I've got a new dreaming chair in my office just behind me. That's new since the last time I was here on live. And today I want to talk about how to have bulletproof resilience as a female founder. So if you are here live, please say hello in the comments so I know who is watching. And if you are catching up a little bit later, then please say hello with hashtag replay. Okay. Bulletproof resilience as a female founder. This is a really recent, raw one for me. So I had to deal with a situation recently, just last week, that even 6 months ago would have had me on the floor in bits, crying my eyes out and just losing my rag. It would have definitely ruined my day. It would have probably ruined my weekend as well, and just completely put me off my game and shattered my peace basically. So what happened is I woke up to an email, kind of sitting there scrolling with one eye half open, the other eye closed, and I got an email from somebody that I would dearly love not to have in my life. But for long, complicated reasons, I'm stuck with them. They are in my life for the foreseeable future. I'm stuck with them. And in this email, this particular individual, they call me a liar. I'd taken the time to respectfully explain a decision that I'd taken to them. And they call me a liar about what I'd said to them. And a result of them calling me a liar, they told me of their intention to trample all over me from a great height. Um, I'm trying to be really careful about the details that I'm sharing here for confidentiality reasons, but essentially, I'd set a boundary for very, very good, rock solid reasons that I've explored over many years in therapy. I've set a boundary, and this individual decided to take it upon themselves to call me a liar and to trample all over that boundary. And 6 months ago, I would have reacted like this. I would have exploded. I would have been angry. I would have been massively triggered, and I would have been consumed by the situation and spent all my time composing them a return email explaining exactly why I was right and they were wrong and how they needed to just shut up, and why, in many, many reasons, why they are a ridiculous human being. And there's still a part of me that wanted to do that. But the reason that I'm sharing this is because now, and as a result of the work that I have been doing, I was able really quickly to disengage from that immediate reaction, and to just step away from the situation, to just let it wash over me, to let me brush off it, let me brush it off like dust off my shoulder. And as a result of the work I've been doing, this situation has barely touched the sides with me. And I've been able to crack on with what is actually important to me. Um, my name is Claire Ackers. I'm an authenticity coach. I work with female founders on how to grow aligned and impactful businesses. But more than this, I help female entrepreneurs achieve self-mastery. Not in like an optimum performance, forcing, pushing, gotta make it happen, hustle type way. The work that I do is all around alignment. It's all around being empowered, and it's all about joy, creating more health, more wealth, more success than you ever dreamed of in a joyful, aligned way. So this is what I want to talk about today, because this situation is a perfect example of this. And as well as that situation, I've had quite a week since then. It's been an absolute roller coaster, but nothing's phased me. Nothing has phased me in the slightest. And I want to share what's happened because life is always going to be in the way, isn't it? There is always going to be stuff that is happening that's stopping you from showing up as you would ideally want to in your business. Um, and if that's you at the moment, then maybe you can use these techniques that I've been using and experience the same sort of, yeah, absolutely, performance in your business, but also peace of mind. Um, so, okay, so this email, I'm being quite careful about what I share because I want to protect all parties involved. And of course, I'm aware that this is my truth, and I'm sure this individual will have their own telling, their own interpretation of what's gone on. But this is my truth about what's happened. Um, so this individual, they call me a liar. They called up my integrity, and this is a massive trigger for me. You know, I'm an authenticity coach. This is all about knowing who you are, what you stand for, and then having the courage to live that every day. And one of my key values is truth. And of course, it just triggered everything that I am and everything that I hold dear, calling me a liar. And a year ago, I would have just gone mad. I would have gone absolutely mad. I would have been crying. I would have been lying on the floor. I would have been getting um, probably social services and lawyers involved, and basically escalating it to the highest point, and trying to control everything in the situation so that I could prove that I was right and that I could justify why I was feeling the way that I was. And it would have escalated things, and it would have had some other consequences, and it would have just absolutely consumed my day and my week, and I wouldn't have been able to think about anything else but how to control this situation with this email. Um, and honestly, my overriding feeling is I am celebrating like mad this evolution that I've been able to ride the wave of. I am a recovering, chronically people pleasing good girl. And what do I mean by that? So, I've got a really strong history of trying to fit in, of trying to be the good girl, trying to do what's expected of me, being a people pleaser, doing not standing up for myself, following the path of least resistance in order to be acceptable. And a while ago, I decided no more, and I was going to be true to myself. And being able to do all this freedom to not be triggered by this situation is absolutely everything to me. I can't even tell you. And I'm going to tell you what I did and how I did it and what you can do as well. But before I do, I just want to give a little bit more context about what's inspired this conversation. And honestly, I think it's important that we talk about this stuff. Last Friday, when this happened, I put out a post about the email and on LinkedIn, and that post has had over 18,000 views last time I checked, which for me, it might not be viral in the overall scheme of things, but for me, that's a lot of eyes on it. This conversation has clearly touched a nerve, and people can, well, I know this has touched a nerve of people because I've had so many people reach out to me and go, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing this. Me too. I've had a horrible email of I've had somebody trampling all over my boundaries, or I felt disempowered and weak and out of control, and it spiraled into anxiety. So I really, really think this is important. So please forgive me indulging this talking about me for a change in my story. And just to add what's happened since the email last Friday, on Saturday, my husband went away up a mountain. So my husband is away. He's back late on Saturday evening, and he is doing his advanced mountain leader training up a mountain in Snowdonia. So he's having a lovely time in the camper van, having all sorts of adventures and sleeping wild and cooking and spending all his time with people who are similarly wired to him. which is great. I'm so pleased he's being able to do that. But what it's meant is that I am holding everything at home. We've got 3 kids, we've got a business each. There is a lot of balls to juggle. Um, and as well as that, we've been dealing with the situation that my daughter has been assaulted at school. Now, again, I'm being quite mindful of what I share because this is her story, not mine. But it's a really serious situation. So we spent a lot of time this week giving police statements and making a plan with the school to make sure that she is safe to go to school. Um, and I'm really, really pleased that I'm able to advocate for her, but it is not in the plan. It is not in the schedule. So at the moment, I'm driving her to and from school to keep her safe, and she normally gets the bus. Which is great that I'm able to do that. However, we've also got 2 other kids that need to be at another school across town. So again, it's not ideal. And as well on top of that, because of the situation, because of that situation, I've had to engage with the person who wrote me the email. Now, normally I've got a great line in grey rock. I'll come on to that technique in a moment, but I've had to engage with this person to make a plan, which, oh gosh, it's really not easy to negotiate that situation. It's really not easy to put yourself outside of the situation and put differences aside in order to make a plan. And I really could have done it again without it this week. And as a result of all this, I've dropped the ball with my younger 2 children. So my son yesterday, he turned up at school in normal school uniform when it's PE day. And if you've got a kid, you know the kind of the drama that induces. You've turned up in the wrong thing. And I just felt absolutely awful. And he felt absolutely awful because he hates standing out. He hates having attention drawn to himself. And we had crying, we had screaming, we had digging his heels in and absolutely refusing to go into school, which is the first time I've ever had anything like that with him. The teacher had to prise his little fingers off me to drag him into school, which again meant I had to try and fit in yesterday, running home, trying to find the correct PE uniform and then running it back up to school, which again, I really didn't have time in my schedule to sort. And on top of that, I forgot it was library day for my youngest, so we forgot to take her library book into school. And then, gorgeous weather at the moment, I got home and decided to hang the washing out on the line. I don't know about you, but that always makes me feel like I'm winning in life when I hang the washing outside. The washing machine exploded. You couldn't make it up, could you? The washing machine exploded. The kitchen was absolutely flooded. And of course, my husband is away. Now, I don't want to provoke a gender debate, but in our house, he deals with that stuff. So the washing machine exploded and my husband wasn't there. I just had to put a towel down and leave it and walk back to work. But I haven't lost my cool. I haven't lost my peace. I haven't crumbled and fallen to the floor and given in and had takeaway every night this week. I haven't screamed, why me? I haven't been overwhelmed. I've kept my sense of humour. And I've kept on showing up at work and doing what I need to do in the very reduced hours that I have. Let me take a sip of water because this is a lot. And well done if you've made it this far. Okay, so what's made the difference? How have I been able to hold all this stuff and keep on smiling and just not let it ruffle me? So, step 1 is about being aware of the meaning that I've been attaching to all these incidents. So, with the email, I'm aware that I have an outdated narrative rumbling around in my subconscious that I'm insignificant, that my feelings don't matter, that I'm not believed about things. Um, and so that is why it triggers me, because it takes me right back to being that powerless little girl, not being believed, being accused of being a liar, all that stuff. And with the washing machine, it triggered a story of, oh my gosh, I can't cope without my husband. We're not going to have any clean clothes this week. I can't believe I've dropped the ball with the kids. I'm a terrible mother. I can't cope. That's the narrative. I can't cope. I can't hold all the things. I'm letting the kids down. That old narrative. If you are a working mum, you will be familiar with that narrative. So that's step one, being aware of the meaning I'm attaching to all these different situations. Um, and taking them one by one, not letting them build up to an overall, oh my gosh, it's too overwhelming, I can't cope. It's right, here's situation one, I'll deal with it. Here's situation two, entirely separate. There's no overarching narrative about what's going on. So that's step one. Step number two is being aware of which of my core values this is trampling all over. And this is why certain things are so helpful. Sorry, they're so hurtful to you, and they might not be to somebody else. If something's triggering you, you can bet your bottom dollar it is because one of your core values is being trampled all over. And in this scenario, it's my core values of freedom and integrity. The integrity of being called a liar, the freedom of feeling out of control. I love being able to set my own rules, set my own boundaries, and live life by that standard. And I do not like it when somebody comes in and tramples all over those. Entrepreneurs will be familiar with that love of freedom and independence, I'm sure. So being aware which of your values, and that knowledge in itself, that self-awareness, just gives you that moment to separate the instant reaction about how you want to react to things and what you actually do in that moment. Really importantly for me as well, having done this inner work, um, I'm reinforcing my new story. The new story that I've been working on to replace those old narratives is that I stand fully in my power and authority. People who've been in my world for a while will be familiar with my idea of being a warrior queen. So I stand fully in my power and authority, and I do not need anybody else to validate my truth. Previously, I would have imagined all sorts of scenarios where people were bitching about me essentially. They were getting together and they were deciding that what I know to be true is a load of rubbish, and they would have been reinforcing each other ideas and calling that the truth. I don't need them. They can say whatever they like about me. I've had plenty of people criticizing me online this week as well for posting what I posted and calling me a liar for that. That's fine. They can say whatever they like. I know what I know, and I do not need anybody else to validate that. And that knowledge in itself is a game changer. The next one, and this has struck a chord with many, many people, is the snow globe idea. Now, I was inspired in this idea by Mel Robbins. If you don't know Mel Robbins' podcast, go check it out. It's awesome. But it's the snow globe idea, which is if somebody is kicking off, you just imagine them having that tantrum in a snow globe. They're over there in their snow globe. They are, you can see them, their tiny little hands and legs going rah, 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 rah. The snow is being agitated and shaking all over the place, but it is contained. It's over there and it can't touch you. And I know that tantrum in a snow globe, they can do their thing, but it is not going to affect and touch and mess up my peace. I don't need to take on whatever their emotion is that they're trying to throw at me. And then finally, the thing that's made the difference is knowing that I have got bigger fish to fry. I have not got time to get dragged into other people's stuff. I just haven't. Um, I choose not to waste my time, my talents, and my energy, my inner peace on them. I just choose not to. I've been there. I've done that and it doesn't feel good. And I have got such a big mission. There is so much I want to do, and they can say all they want, but I'm not letting it disturb my peace. And as a final triumphant note, I fixed that damn washing machine myself with a little help with my friends. My friend lent me the mother of all plungers. I'll spare you the details because they're a bit gross, but I fixed it myself. How is that for empowerment? Working out how to fix a washing machine and deflooding the kitchen. That felt pretty awesome. So I wasn't going to announce this just yet, but it feels right, so let's go for it. I've got something in the pipeline, which is I'm hosting a 5-day challenge for female entrepreneurs. It's called Power Up, and it's all about self-mastery. I'm going to be teaching you over the course of 5 days, probably half an hour a day, of live teaching on how to achieve self-mastery, how to achieve peak performance, but in an aligned, joyful way. It's just going to feel absolutely awesome. It will be live and available to register for by the end of this week. But in the meantime, if you've listened to this and you think, yes, I would like a little bit of that, then just send me a message. Send me a message on here. And I will make sure that you are the first to hear about it when registration goes live. But that's going to be Power Up for female founders, and it is going to be absolutely awesome. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to let me know what you think of this conversation, and I will see you very soon.